here's our walkCycle. And the next thing that I want to do really quickly is offset his arms so that they're down by his sides a little bit more. So the cat rig or CATMotion panel here provides a lot of control over a walkCycle, and actually you can get into run cycles as well. I've gotten a couple of good examples at that, where you do a lot more lift and spread the legs apart a little bit more to make them galloping or running. And then there's a lot of control in here, like these limb phases. Everything's set up evenly in here so that he does walk evenly. But if you want to, you can set it up so that both of these legs are happening at the same time, so he's sort of hopping, or you can get kind of funky with a sort of running skip or whatever. And then same thing with the arms. So 2 or 3 mouse clicks and we can get him looking really bad. So let's put this back to where it was. Everything's all even and offset properly. And I invite you to play with those values and make cool things. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do here is we want to bring his arms down a little bit on his side. They're a little bit far out there. So we're in our animation panel. I'm going to turn on animation, turn on auto key. I'm going to set my range in max to 20 frames. So that's what our current loop is, like that. And then I'm going to add a layer, an adjustment layer on top of the CATMotion. So the CATMotion is doing its thing. It's getting our whole character walking. And then what I want to do is, on top of that, I want to bring his arms down by his side to give him a little bit more of a natural position. So I'm going to click on that same drop down, the add layer drop down, and go into local. And so now I have a local adjustment layer. And with animate on, I'm going to go to the first frame. I'm going to take his hand. Actually, I'm just going to take his arm up here and just rotate it down, and then take his forearm and rotate it up a bit, and then twist his arm out a little bit. This is all happening on top of the CATMotion. So whatever CATMotion does, this won't be added on it. And then with the hand selected, if you look over here in the digit manager, we have preset poses, and I have fist, and then just go double click on that and it makes a fist. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Well, before we do that, let's just take a look what this looks like. So you can see his arm is now offset to be by his side. And we can keep animating on top of this to make it look exactly how you want. But again, the scope of this demo is just to show this stuff off briefly and let you experiment with it on your own time. So bring this up like so. Twist it out again. Go to the hand. Give it a fist. There we go. And there we go. We've got ourselves a little funny walkCycle. Okay, so now that we've got a walkCycle, we're going to be bringing it in, and we need into the game engine, and we need him to walk forward, walk to the sides, left and right, and walk backwards. Those are the 4 core locomotive animations that we need to just get him moving around in the world. So luckily, the cool thing about CATMotion, to do really quick and dirty animation like this, we can change the direction as part of the CATMotion layer. So back in CATMotion now, and again, the adjustment layer is happening after, so it's okay to go back to CATMotion and mess around with it. We're going to go to the CATMotion editor. I'm going to bring this up, and then I'm going to go to global. And inside of global, one of the values that I didn't go through was direction. And what direction determines is which direction that the character's walking. So if we get at an angle so we can see this, if you look at his legs, he's walking forward. He's doing 160, which is a little bit more than he can do. So 120. That was stride length was a little long. So now if I change the direction to 90, you'll see now that he's doing a side step to his right. And if I do 180, he's walking backwards. And 270, as you might guess, is to the left. So what I'm going to do right now is just set a couple of keyframes on this value right here every 20 frames, so that my first frames, frames 1 through 20, are this walkCycle, and then 21 through 40 is my second one, and 41 through 60, and 61 through 80. So I'm basically making 4 animations: walk forward, walk to the left, walk back, and walk to the right. And I'm just going to do that by just changing this direction value. So I'm going to stop the animation. I'm going to go back to the beginning at frame 0. And then this gets into max keyframing stuff. I'm going to go into step key mode. And that's down here at the bottom. It might be below the capture thing. It's right next to the auto key, set key. There's a little icon for this. And I'm going to go to step, which is the one that's a 90-degree angle here. And that just means there's going to be no curvature between values, because I want it to just go from one value to the next. I don't want anything in between. And then I'm going to go into set key or auto key mode, either way. And then I'm going to just change this value to 0 right there at the direction. And then I'm going to change my keyframe range from 0 to 20. I'm just going to make it 0 to 80, like so. And now at frame 20, I'm going to go ahead and just key that again to 0. And at 21, I'm going to set this to 90. And then change my time slider to 40. And just key it again, like so. I'm just changing the value and changing it back. You could type it in there. You could hit set key. It's just whatever you want. And just, you know, as I drag it here, it's at 0, and then it gets to frame 21. Bonk. Now it's 90. And then I'm going to get to frame 41. Frame 40 set to 90. So then frame 41, I'm going to set to 180. Some of these keys are redundant because it's in step key mode, but back to 180 again. We want to make sure this stays as 180, and then we're going to go to here and change this to 270. And then that's that. So what you should have is him walking forward, then walking to the side, walking backwards, then walking to the other side. So basically just changing the direction value for 20 frames. And if you wanted it to be 40, do it every 40 frames, whatever, just do the math. So now we have the character walking in 4 places. And the next thing we want to do is export him out to the UDK engine using Actor X, and that will be our next video. So we'll see you then.